So, hey Umang, welcome to our first session of Prax Convos. Thanks so much for taking out your time. It's always wonderful chatting with you, and it's also been amazing seeing the amazing growth story that Cardeco has been creating, both globally and in the domestic market. And what's your advice to, let's say, middle, not so large as you guys, but let's say smaller technology internet firms or even the mid-scale ones who are not probably that well funded? How should they plan for re-acceleration, right, for the coming months? Should they kickstart operations for work from home people, supply chain, staff? How do you think they should go about it?
There are again two parts to this. I've been around now for the better part of 12 years, right? And started in the middle of the last recession. What we have this time is a truly extraordinary situation, right? Not seen this earlier, etc. But I also think what ends up happening is there's a constant feedback loop around you. Everyone's negative, and then you get excessively pessimistic about business, or when things are good, people get overly optimistic about business. There needs to be a balance in terms of the perspective with which you look at things in the way you operate. And the same holds true for a lot of younger startup founders, etc., who are operating that. Uh, I think it's important to not get too exuberant or go overboard in terms of laying off half your staff, or uh, go overboard in terms of being bullish about what will end up happening. I think maintaining that balance will be important. I think staff safety will have to hold preeminence in their thoughts, and rushing people back to work may not be prudent. My suggestions would be that as much as you can work, continue to operate from home, and you'd have to break down tasks. Like people doing deliveries have to go, people who have to go to warehouse have to go. I don't think you have a choice on those functions, but certain functions that can operate from home should continue to operate from home, at least until you see a lot of other companies start operations in some way, shape, or form, and you get clarity on what the government norms are going to be. My sense was China in April also was not full work from, was only 50% of employees are allowed to come into office, right, in order to prevent overcrowding on public transport, etc. So I think I would also urge startup founders to take a wait and watch kind of approach, not rush getting their employees in, but those who are essential, you know, uh, in delivery or warehousing, supply chains. So in sales, honestly, beyond a point, what can you do? Uh, I think those functions, startup founders will have to encourage people to start to go out. They can leave a choice to folks also. So even amongst your employees, you will have some who are over aggressive, some who are less aggressive. So you can give a choice. You can offer leave without pay options. You can do other options to those who don't want to work, those who prefer to stay back at home, etc. If their company can afford it, and their financial situation can allow it, then have that flexibility, so you can let individuals decide for themselves what they want to do.
One slightly unrelated question, Umang, where are you in this whole life versus livelihood debate? What part of that spectrum do you fall in? What's your point of view on that?
You're asking this question from the context of should you ensure you continue to pay employees and not lay off, etc.
I think what I mean more is more in terms of what should be the philosophy of governments in this situation, because they need to choose between the devil and the dragon. So
The economy versus
yeah.
got
So
it.
what should be the fundamental approach, right, to sort of to this kind of a situation?
I don't think I have all the data to know exactly how grim the situation is on the ground. Uh, I sometimes fall in both courts, right? I think India has been excessively strict in terms of the way we've implemented lockdowns and completely shut down the country, right? I don't think a lot of other economies have done what we have done. Uh, However, given the realities of trying to manage people, I think we've seen the chaos with migrant laborers having to go back home, etc.
Yeah.
We're seeing the spread of the disease in Maharashtra. Uh, ultimately, as long as the disease is around, I think it's very hard for you to get back to any kind of normal livelihood. So I would personally err on the side of life, at least for this complete quarter, if required. Economy be damned, and then refocus on livelihood for all. That said, I think one of the areas where I feel the government response has been lacking has been some of the policies that I'm hearing a lot of other countries do. The size of stimulus that they're putting into the economy. Whether the US is doing paycheck protection, Europe and Britain are doing a lot of those kind of programs. I don't see a similar reaction from the Indian government in terms of supporting a lot of folks out there. So countries that are more emerging, I think Brazil's a mess between people hating their president and all kinds of factions. But a lot of other countries I'm seeing in the emerging markets, there's some semblance of an economy that they're keeping running. They've not shut down as much, and honestly, only time will tell as to whether is what Indonesia doing right or is what a country like India
or Sweden for that matter.
But I don't think there's any harm in what the government has done ultimately, that or on the side of caution for now, and maybe reconfigure there. So the good thing is, even though they've extended the lockdown, you're seeing the government start to allow a lot more services to run, to split the country into zones, to say this is allowed, this is not allowed. So I think that will be interesting to see how this situation pans out.
So interestingly, you mentioned that we did this interesting 2x2. So where we said, let's plot all the countries on the stringency and the duration of the lockdown on one axis, and fiscal stimulus as percentage of GDP given on the other axis. And India is basically on that top right quadrant where fiscal stimulus is minimum and there's no one else. China is also correct. China has somewhere been in the middle, right? They've not been very stringent, plus they've given enough fiscal. US has given a lot of fiscal, they've not been that stringent. But India has been like extremely strict, very less fiscal sort of stimulus, etc. So interesting.
I didn't know you did this 2x2. So
yeah, as a sort of trying to see whether what they are doing is right or not. Any other open-ended comments, Umang? Of course, been nice talking to you. But anything else you want to voice your opinion on?
No, I think I would urge a little bit of positivity in the midst of all this doom and gloom for a lot of founders. Even this shall pass.
Yeah.
And I think whatever decisions they need to take in terms of cost cutting, in terms of employees, I would counsel them to do it once, but do it deep. Don't keep revisiting. It creates a negative environment within the company, and start to focus their energies, their conversations, especially with all your staff, on looking forward in terms of more action oriented. Okay, let's do this. Let's try that. These are opportunities that will come out of this. Let's restart work that way. I think that is the only thing that I would urge a lot of founders to do.
So basically, you mean stay afloat in 2020 and look at what you build in, or let's say later half of 2020 and early 21.
Yeah.
Plan for that. Makes sense. Perfect. Umang, thanks so much. It's always amazing talking to you. So thanks so much for your time, and all the best to you and Cardeco and the sort of continuation of that trajectory, and wish you all the health. You, your family, friends, colleagues, everyone, and thanks again for your time.